Hey, what's up, y'all? Doing something new today on Timeout with Coach Cam. We're bringing it to you live on StreamYard. That's where the shows will be at. It will be here on Facebook Live. Also, you can check me out on my YouTube page. We're streaming live there as well. I hope you guys continue to support. I do appreciate, definitely you guys watching, and we're gonna have a great show. I do want to dedicate. I do want to dedicate this show to to my uncle who passed away due to COVID-19. To everyone out there, just wear a mask, man. Even if you don't believe it's real, whatever, just wear a mask. Keep everyone safe around you. It's the best way to be. This show is definitely for him. But you know what? It's exciting. Let's get into it. Let's go.
Timeout, overtime, hot take, debate, penalty by so many options. We on the way, unapologetic opinions, guests checking in, so I share on my social. Merch going up, my brother, he going global. Ads hold it down for the ladies, they need their own show. But we right back with it. Timeout with Coach Cam, we shouldn't miss a minute. Yeah. But we right back with it. Timeout with Coach Cam, we shouldn't miss a minute. Yeah.
Hey, we are back for another one, baby. We are back, and I'm gonna give you the new times. I'm doing the show today just to get it out there because I've been missing lately, but I'm not gonna be missing anymore. We're gonna be back every Sunday, 9:30 a.m., and we're gonna be here Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. And there will be other times where we may have interviews that may pop up, and we may go on other nights, but those are the two days that I'm aiming at. Sunday, 9:30 a.m. Tuesday, 8 p.m. So make sure you tune in to Time Out with Coach Cam. We'll cover a lot today. We'll discuss a lot. Also, please comment. Please comment. I can read them. I can pull it up for you. We could discuss, some of your comments as well. So please comment. Definitely. I see you, Matt. What's going on? Um, my guy Whitney. Hey, I would do national games for the city. I definitely would. I would do a little league football. Definitely get me plugged in, boss. Let me know what I need to do, and I'll be happy to do that for you. Um, Now to get into it, we're going to discuss several things. We will discuss the college football playoff system and what I feel is an absolute complete joke. Also, we will cover the Bengals. The Bengals lose again. And I don't expect them to win another game for the rest of the season, but we'll discuss that as well. Also, we will have our quick hot takes. Now, what I do want to say and get this out the way. I'm not even gonna start on the Bengals. Normally, I know y'all about to say, "Oh, he about to start with the Bengals." Oh no, you know what? I'm not starting with the Bengals. I'm not starting with them at all. The issue with the college football playoff and what I saw last night was very, 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 very concerning. It was very concerning. Um, when the rankings come out, I'm never mad at the University of Cincinnati being seventh. I understand. I get it to a certain degree. But when the poll came out last night and I see my Bearcats eighth, it blew me back. Not that, I understand if it was a team deserved to jump us, but you put Iowa State? You put Iowa State above University of Cincinnati? That's an absolute joke, and here's why. Here's why. How can you put a two-loss, a two-loss Big 12 team above an undefeated Cincinnati team? It's not like we haven't have ranked wins. We have ranked wins. Army came in here ranked. We beat them. We went to SMU when they were ranked 16th. We beat them. ESPN had Central Florida as the favorites. Guess what? We beat them. How can ESPN have a team that was 57% FPI is supposed to win We go in there and beat them as an underdog, but we don't get credit for the win. Make it make sense. The NCAA is a crooked organization. It's one of the most crooked organizations we have in this entire world. What this does, it makes me not want to watch college football anymore. And that's why when people ask me, what do you rather watch? College football, college basketball? It's no hesitation for me. It's college basketball. You know why? Because everyone has a chance. You do your job, you have a chance to succeed. You have a chance to go to the NCAA tournament. You have a chance to do some of these things. I just feel like it's totally unfair. The process is unfair. And it's not like Iowa State lost, the two losses they lost to was they were top 5 teams. Absolutely not. They lost to Louisiana Lafayette at home week 1. Louisiana Lafayette, a Sun Belt team at home, you get smoked by. You give up 31 to a Sun Belt team at home, and you're supposed to be a Big 12 team, and you get rated above the University of Cincinnati. It's a joke. It's a joke, and it's a setup for the Big 12, perhaps, because they know this is all about the cheese. This is all about the money. This is all about the money. You can't tell me otherwise at this point. It's set up for just in case some SEC teams lose, some of the teams above us lose. Now, if Oklahoma perhaps beats a number 7 ranked Iowa State, they jump up. The process is simply not fair. It makes me, like I said, it makes me not want to watch college football, and I'm dead serious about it. I'm dead serious about it. At this point, you might as well come out as an NCAA and say, you know what? To be honest, man, you know this college football playoffs is for Power Fives only. It's for Power Fives only. I would rather hear that. I would rather hear that than to say everyone has a chance and lying to us. Lying to us. The NCAA is crooked. It's crooked. And don't give me that BS. Don't give me that talking about, oh, UC needs to play better opponents. They don't play nobody. Blah, 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 blah. I'm calling BS. Not just BS. Y'all know what I like to say. Hot BS. I'm calling it. It's hot BS. Because I got a question for y'all. Who the hell has Clemson beat? You want to go by the eye test on certain teams, but want to go by who somebody beat on another. Who the hell has Clemson beat? They get credit for beating up on 4 and 5 teams all year long. The only one game they had that was tough against Notre Dame, they took an L. But they tell me Trevor Lawrence wasn't playing. Last time I checked, does Trevor Lawrence tackle anybody? Do Trevor Lawrence play defense? DJ dropped 400 yards and scored over 40. They still lost. Would Trevor Lawrence have done that much better? So the whole notion of Trevor Lawrence, you know, was the reason why they lost is BS. They dropped 40 plus, they still lost. I'm done with it because it's not exactly. It's not all inclusive. You want to go by an eye test with a team like Clemson who ain't beat nobody. And I know Clemson's damn good. I'm not saying they're not. But you can't have one criteria for a group of teams and then have another criteria for another group. It's not all inclusive. And they need to come out and say that. They need to come out and say that it's not all inclusive. Absolutely. I agree with that. It's a NCAA is crooked. NCAA is a crooked organization. It's that simple. It's that simple. Crooked organization. They're not fair about the process. And that's why I love college basketball. That's what makes college basketball special. In March, anything can happen. One of these lower teams can beat a Duke on a given night. That's what makes it fun. We act like we haven't seen it. We act like we haven't seen Boise State beat Oklahoma. We act like we haven't seen Central Florida in a Peach Bowl beat a BCS team. We act like we haven't seen Utah beat Alabama. We act like we haven't seen this. We act like we haven't seen this. That's the frustrating part. And people want to tell me that, oh, um, excuse me, I lost my train of thought here. People want to tell me, and it's funny. I laugh at it because well, I got Chris here. Everybody loves an upset just as much as they love two powerhouses. Exactly. There's nothing like it. But people tell me, oh, if Cincinnati plays Clemson and they play Alabama, they will lose 60-0. Let's rewind to last year, please. Can we rewind to last year? I got a question. Can you tell me the score of the Oklahoma and LSU game last year? 63-28. Does that sound like a good game? Does that sound like a competitive game to you? No. And I know my Ohio State fans will get sensitive, but there was a year where they lost 31-0 to Clemson. Was that competitive? No. It wasn't competitive. Got smacked. We seen Alabama destroy Oklahoma. We've seen it. We've seen Alabama destroy Notre Dame. We've seen two big schools come play in these national semifinal games and get drilled. And it's a boring game. It's a boring game. So, exactly, Chris. And Chris, Chris Brown, he has his own, his own podcast as well, and he's on the ASAP Network, All Sports All Plays Network with me, and we be on Real Talk on Mondays and Thursdays at 9:30 Eastern Time. But yeah, man, it's an absolute joke, and I touched on that, Micah. The two lost Iowa State team that jump you see, and Iowa State lost to Louisiana Lafayette. Give me a damn break. The college football playoff system is broken. And I know a lot of UC fans was like, this is the year to where you need to expand it to 8 because of the Ohio State issue. I'll tell you what, if they expand it to 8, we'll still get left out. We'll still get stroked. Because you know why? They'll put a team like Georgia above us. And they got 2 losses. No disrespect to Georgia. Georgia's a great football team, but 2 losses is 2 losses. You can't put 2 lost teams above undefeated teams. Come on, man. Come on, man. At this point, what I saw is they showed their hand. College football players, playoff system and the committee showed their hand. They don't want a group of 5 team in there. They simply don't. And that's cool. Focus on UC. And I don't want this to affect the University of Cincinnati because when you work so hard, you work week in and week out, you win games, you win them convincingly, and you can't really reach your top destination. You can't really get to the prize. That's deflating. And I don't want them to be deflated coming in this championship game against Tulsa, who's fired up to play us. And we're kind of like, no matter what we do, we can't get in. No, finish this season strong, finish it undefeated, and then go to your Pirate New Year Day 6 Bowl, and whoever it may be, be ready to line it up and be ready to smack them flat out. Could impact recruiting for UC. I don't see it impacting as much, Antonio, just because Luke Fickle, man, he's getting them in there. He's getting them in there, and to really, if you think about it, he's out recruiting darn near the whole Big Ten. I think I think this is a process for UC where they have to finish undefeated somehow in that New Year's Day 6 Bowl. They have to win that. Now, if they win that, then the following year you can look at them, and the following years to come, you can look at UC and say, "Oh, they did this before. Maybe they deserve a chance." That's the only way I can see it. That's the only way I can see it. Because this whole process right now is just completely unfair. Texas A&M, I respect Texas A&M. I can see them above us. They beat a very good Florida team. Um, you know, they do have a loss. The losses to Alabama. So Texas A&M. I'm not mad at them that they're above us. I could get that logic, but some of the other logic that I'm seeing, I just can't get with. I just simply can't get with. Um, and it's just disappointing. When you come out and see that, because it just simply shows that we do not have a chance. We do not have a chance. In making the college football playoffs. And that's so disappointing. It really is very disappointing. Um, for fans, and for UC fans and just college football in general. You got a lot of good teams from these Power Five schools. I mean, for these Group of Five schools, that's not getting an opportunity. Um, Yeah, I agree. It's all for money. It's all for money at this point. A lot of money was lost this season, and you just gotta take it for what it's worth. You gotta take it for what it's worth. What it's worth. But to be honest, we know what this was gonna be like. So for me as a Bearcat fan, I'm not gonna rack my brain around it. I'm just focused on Tulsa, beat Tulsa, get your New Year's Day Six Bowl. Kudos, to the Bearcats. They did everything they could do this year to qualify, and I feel like the college football playoffs is gonna screw them, and they're gonna screw them again. But moving on to, unfortunately, I have to talk about my Cincinnati Bengals. Um, the Cincinnati Bengals, man. I I'm trying to keep my composure. I'm not trying to go off. I'm not trying to go on a Stephen A. type rant here. Um, we know, another road loss, you know, and it's kind of it's disgusting, And the reason why it's disgusting is because the Bengals play hard. The defense played hard. I'll give it to them. They played hard. They played halfway decent. And it's frustrating to look at these last three games. You look at the Giants, you look at the Washington Redskins, a football team, excuse me, sorry, Washington football team, and you look at the um, who we just played, the Dolphins, and you can just see it if we have Joe Burrow, the outcome is definitely different. But you know what we don't, and what that falls back on, coaching. Don't give me excuses that we got injuries. Don't give me excuses that the quarterback is out and this, that, and the third. There are teams that's making it work. Teams that's making it work. I look at the Baltimore Ravens. They played the Pittsburgh Steelers coming off of COVID, had no Lamar Jackson, didn't have their running backs. Defensive players out, linemen out, and yet they competed and really was that close to winning the game. But with us, we lose a quarterback, we can't even function. We can't even function. I'm sorry, the Zach Taylor experiment is over. I knew this last year. I knew this last year when we were sitting at 0-11. And now Sunday, you know, it you know, it was fights going on. Now I'm not talking about the Tyler Boyd incident. That was a joke. That was a joke. You talk about management. Yes, our management is terrible. It's definitely terrible. Um, I'm talking about, during the game, Mike Thomas, uh, you know, went down there, and I don't think that was necessarily illegal. He just got there a little early. But Sean Williams, man, it's up for everybody to see. You stepping on players' legs. Just basically just at that point you're so frustrated that you just starting mess. Like you're just trying to get ejected at that point. You step on the guy's leg, um, you know, smacking players, and it was ugly. It was to the point where it got so bad that we were doing dirty stuff. And don't get me wrong, the Dolphins was really playing dirty too for some. I don't know why the game was so intense for. I don't know what kind of intensity there was there and why. But it just seemed like the game was chippy all game. The referees did a bad job of controlling it early. But Brian Flores attacked the Cincinnati sideline. It looked like he was pointing at Zach Taylor. I ain't see Zach Taylor at all. I ain't see him at all. And the team personality is a reflection of the coach. Now, don't get me wrong. Should Brian Flores have stormed the sideline? No, because Brian Flores, as a leader of men, you got to kind of calm the situation down. But you know what? The Dolphins was ready to ride for him. Ain't nobody ready to ride for Zach Taylor. The whole offensive line was sitting on the bench chilling, drinking Gatorade. What they basically do when they're on offense anyway, chilling. You had AJ Green 30 yards behind the play. He ain't care. And speaking of AJ Green, it's so sad to see. Because the thing is, I don't think AJ Green is done. I don't. But he knows this is garbage. This is garbage. Any player that was here before, that was under the Marvin Lewis era, knows this is garbage. It's trash. Simple trash. I mean, I look at the Washington game, for example, when Joe Burrow got hurt. The team was down in spirit, obviously. You see your leader, arguably your best player, go down. Did you see Zach Taylor try to pump up the team? Let's go, guys. Let's go. Come on. Let's win it for Joe. Four plays later, we give up a touchdown. That tells you all you need to know about the pulse of this team. That tells you all you need to know about the pulse of this football team. This team has got this organization, and right now, people want to say Mike Brown. Right now, it's Katie. Katie Blackburn is running this organization right now. Katie Blackburn is running this organization right now. And she has to pull the plug on this. Don't be in a situation where you feel like, you're trying to prove people right about this hire. We know it's wrong. We know that Zach Taylor is not the man for the job. And I think with the way we did things differently this year, we spent a little money, we spent a little change, I think Katie's going to look at this and say, you know what? This ain't it. Everyone knows this is not it. How do you willing to risk your job for your friends? You bring in a guy like Jim Turner. He's terrible. He's been terrible everywhere he's went. He's a bad person. He's a bad person. There's not many people that I say, like I said, that are bad people. But Jim Turner is a bad person. Fire the coaching staff. Fire the coaching staff. But what other options did they have? Hey, don't. This is the thing. This is. Excuse me. I'm gonna bring that back up. This is the thing, Matt. Well, what other options did they have? They had other options. However, remember, we waited for Zach Taylor because Zach Taylor was in the Super Bowl as a quarterback coach with Sean McVay. We actually waited for this bum. Unbelievable. Forget the other options. We waited for Zach Taylor. I mean, I don't understand how Zach Taylor's a prime example. And my boy Antonio said it the other day. A prime example of failing up. He's failed everywhere he's went. UC coordinator under the Tommy Tuberville era, the worst era of UC football in the last 50 years. Even the Rick Mitchell days was better. Yes. Okay, you said you was referring to Jim Turner. Well, I could tell you this. Why won't they get on the phone with Willie Anderson, a Hall of Fame semifinalist who teaches offensive line camps, who's been on Twitter and willing to say that, hey, the Bengals never reached out to me. Why not Willie Anderson? That's the first person I'm calling. If he declines, he declines. But I don't think he'll decline. I'm calling Willie Anderson up tomorrow, saying, "Hey man, how would you like the offensive line coaching job for the Cincinnati Bengals?" I don't think he turns it down. I don't think he turns it down. And Tori Willis Williams, who's been on this show as a co-host as well. I think we will see her back now since we got this new setup and everything going on. She asks, "But does anyone want to come to Cincinnati to coach?" Now that's a good question, and it's a valid question. However, with Joe Burrow, the job is just a little more attractive. You have a quarterback that you know is legit. You have a quarterback that you know that's a franchise quarterback. That makes the job a little bit more attractive. I'm not saying it's the best job in the world, but it makes it a little bit more attractive. Let me see here. I'm going up. Let's see. I'm just attacking some of these comments as I go. They aren't going to fire him after 2 seasons. Sam, I think this is it, man. I think this is an all time low though. You know, in a normal situation, I would agree with you. I would agree with you and say that you damn right. That you're damn right that we don't fire coaches after 2 years. But this is all time bad. This is all time bad, y'all. All time bad. You know. So this is going to be a very interesting moving forward. It's not normal due to COVID. I get it. It's not normal due to COVID. But I look at a coach. I look at several coaches. It don't take 2 damn years to establish a culture. It don't take 2 years. It don't take 2 years. Marvin Lewis came into this organization. The culture was way worse. It was way worse. We were coming off of 2-14. No quarterback. Don't even know what winning smell like. And he turned it around to 8 in his first year. I look at Joe Judge. Yes, they're bad. They're 4-7, but they play great defense. They believe in Joe Judge. They're going out there week in, week out, fighting for Joe Judge. He's established a culture. The Washington football team with Ron Rivera has established a culture. I'll go even further. Kevin Stefanski for the Browns established a culture. You know what you're going to get with the Cleveland Browns. They're going to run it down your throat, and they're going to get after the passer. They have an identity. It's been 2 years. What is the Bengals' identity? For those that are watching, tell me, what is the Bengals' identity today? You can't tell me. I know you can't. That's the issue with the Cincinnati Bengals. And this guy, Zach Taylor, I'm on the run, and I'm going to be on it, and I'm going to have this hashtag anytime I talk about the Bengals from here on out. Fire Zach Taylor. He needs to be gone. He needs to be gone. I'm so sick of his press conferences. I'm so sick of the guys in the locker room. They're going to believe, they're going to keep working hard. We're going to get this ship right together. It just seems like, unfortunate, we're playing hard, but, it's just not coming together on the scoreboard. Miss me with that. Eventually, it comes together on the scoreboard. Eventually, you win a damn road game. It's sad. We have a road game. You could book it as an L. It's an L. No doubt about it. It's an L. And that's just the sad part. That's the sad part because it don't have to be like this. It don't have to be like this. Let's see, but you can't say that taking a team that was used for complacency and never challenged. Rookies were never getting a real chance. That was a breath of fresh air. Everybody was happy, and then the veteran was excited, but then they were held accountable and boom, crying and whining. Dalton and Dunlap, prime examples. That's not a prime example, Matt. You my guy. But however, why aren't these guys? Well, not Dalton necessarily, but I look at the Dunlap. He goes and actually play him at a position where he's comfortable and what he's good at, and he's tearing it up. It wasn't due to the lack of effort to start the season with Carlos Dunlap at all. And it's a way that you handle your veterans. These are 9, 10-year guys that's seen winning. You have to remember, Carlos Dunlap don't know what the 90s look like. Andy Dalton don't know what the 90s look like. You have a guy that's been a 4-3 edge rush, like a 4-3 defensive end for 9 years, for 10 years. And you're asking him to stand up and play outside linebacker and drop in coverage and cover in the flat. Come on, man. You can't do that. You can't do that. And then he's finding out that he's demoted in a meeting with the defense. That's embarrassing. You don't do that to veterans. You pull them to the side, you have a conversation, Zoom meeting, whatever you want to have. You say, look, Carlos, this is what we're going to do. As a veteran, I feel like we need to talk to you about this. We're going to rotate some guys in your position and see what we can get out of them. Your role, you will be reduced on, sometime on third downs. And he wouldn't have liked it still, but it's respect that you told him before he gets to a team meeting and see his name go from first on the depth chart to third, where he's not even really participating in the game plan. Come on, man. He was challenged to do something different and couldn't handle it. No, that's not it. It's bad coaching, man. It's bad coaching. You don't put a guy in a position to where they never played. That's bad coaching. That's terrible coaching. You don't do that. You don't do that. You don't. And he hasn't been trained to be an outside linebacker in 10 years. And you're asking him to do it now? You're asking him to do it now? And okay, maybe it was just a breath of fresh air to see some rookies and to see cats, to be changes made. But we're not getting wins behind it. We're not winning. So with the changes being made, if we're not winning, I don't care about those changes because it's not amounting to anything. But I could go on this about the Bengals all day. I know I can. But we're going to move on. We're going to move on to another kind of depressing thing for me here. As you know, this week has just kind of been kind of rough on Cincinnati sports. Crosstown, well, not all Cincinnati sports, but if it got Cincinnati across the chest, it's been rough. Crosstown shootout recap happened this past Sunday, and Xavier wins again. I was going back and forth between the Bengals and the Bearcats game. There were some positives I saw, and there were some negatives, man. There were some negatives, and me, I don't hold any punches about that. Now with the Crosstown shootout, and excuse me here because I'm trying to get my share on here, doing multiple things, but with the Crosstown shootout, I was disappointed in the defense. I mean, the starting five is a good offensive starting five, and I like the offense. I like the Florida offense. They're fully great. Brandon got his guys in there, and they're fully committed to that. However, the defense have got to improve, or you're going to have to mix some zone in. It's that simple at this point. You cannot have Volt and Rap out there at the same time at the forward and center position. They're isolating them in pick and rolls. They can't stop it. And Volt for be 7 foot can't block a shot. He gets you one rebound. At some point, man, you gotta look at doing something different. With him. I like him on offense on the block. He can get a bucket. You can dump it to him, and he'll get you a bucket. No doubt about it. However, defense. I mean, it's Bearcat basketball, man. It's Bearcat basketball at the end of the day. And I'm used to seeing my teams defend. If we ain't gonna do nothing else, we gonna defend. And I just feel like, we're letting teams drive to the hole at will. We're giving up 3-pointers at will. Something has got to change. Something has got to change, or it's going to get ugly. Really, 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 really fast. Far as this season goes. But a lot of people I know are concerned after you lose to Xavier again. I do recognize that John Brandon, really embraces the Crosstown Shootout, which I do like. I do like that he embraces the shootout. However, you got to start winning some of these things. You got to start winning some of these Crosstown Shootouts, man. Because at this point now you're 0-2. You're 0-2 in the Crosstown Shootout, and next year it's not gonna be any better. You might be 0-3, and now I'm quitting. Then I gotta look at you sideways because you can't go 0-3 in this Crosstown Shootout. And to be quite honest, with you, Xavier is dominating this series, in this era. They're dominating this series, so we got to get back to it. But don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted at all. The pulse of this city, as far as college basketball goes, as UC goes. So if UC good, the pulse is up. If UC's bad, the pulse is down. That's just the way it is. Always the way it's going to be. But Xavier is dominating. This crosstown shootout as of late, and we got to get back to finding a way to winning this game. I am glad that Brandon embraces the game because it needs to be embraced. Mick didn't embrace it much, but however, we got to start winning them. We got to start winning. That game was a winnable game. We missed free throws down the stretch, and it was disappointing to see a little bit of Keith Williams really not performing as a senior leader supposed to. You're down the stretch. You missed 3 straight free throws down the stretch. Can't happen. That simply just can't happen there. Um, and that's the disappointing part. And then we missed several front ends of 1-on-1s. And the 3-point shooting didn't improve. And my boy said it best. My boy said it best. His name is Doug. Doug. No, no, no. Okay, I'm gonna touch on some of these. I'm definitely gonna touch on some of these. What I see here. But my boy said it best. He said that we have turned into Iowa, and this is right. We've turned into Iowa, and Iowa minus Garza. That's what we turned into. We were like Iowa, and that's. I don't know, man. I don't know. Our defense was very bad. I'm not used to seeing it. Our defense struggled absolutely. I'm not used to seeing us not being able to stop the dribble, keep a cast out of the lane. That was really really bad. I expected a little more presses too, and I'm not understanding. John Brandon says it's gonna be 94 feet and all this kind of stuff. I'm just not seeing it. I'm not seeing the press action. I think we have the athletes to press at certain time because you can't play those two big guys out there and press. But I think certain lineups when you put in Davenport, when you put in Tari Eason, when you have Keith out there and the guards out there, you can press. And I don't like the way we didn't press full court. X is a Sweet 16. No, the hell they're not. X is not that good at all, and that's what kind of burned me up about this game. They've been barely getting by all year, barely beat um, you know, several teams this year that's way below their caliber at home. I don't think X is a Sweet 16 team. They're a tournament team, but a Sweet 16 team, now I think that's really, really far fetched. We made them look like a Sweet 16 team by giving up open 3-point shots, letting them get to the lane at will. And I'm just not going to pick on the bigs as well. Um, you know, the guards didn't keep Scruggs out of the lane, didn't keep anybody out of the lane, and it was kind of disgusting to see. Team from Clifton, um, team from Clifton don't have any guard play. I disagree with that. David Julius is really good. He had 16 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds with no turnovers at the point guard position. He's a Swiss Army knife that could do everything. I thought David Julius played well. He just couldn't get the 3-ball to fall. Keith Williams is out of control. You would think by the time now his senior year that he'll stop trying to dip his shoulder, dip his head, and just go 1-on-5 in situations. You would think that he's better at that, but to be honest, Keith Williams' IQ is questionable. It's always been questionable. He takes bad shots, and it just hasn't gotten better over the course of the years. And that's disappointing to see, from a senior, forcing bad shots, missing free throws, and absolutely getting cooked on defense. Has to be better, if you see he's going to be better this year. Yeah, barely. Yeah, it still counts as a win, absolutely. But that catches up in conference play. They're in the Big East where Villanova don't hold no hands at all. You have Creighton, don't hold no hands at all. Seton Hall's a good team. UConn's now there, and they look much improved. You have Butler, always a good team. So you're in the Big East conference where barely getting by. The Eastern Kentuckys of the world and things like that. That's not going to help you in conference play. But we'll see. We'll see. But there's, the Big East is, tough this year, and they will have their work cut out for them. Tori says, "Yep, IQ. The IQ on Keith is bad. And I don't like to pick on college kids because, at the end of the day, they kids. But my God, I mean, some of the shots he was taking, it was just like, come on, man. What are you doing right now? And it was very disappointing." To lose another shootout, but the season's not over. Let's not look at it as doom and gloom. But I do have a lot of concerns about this team. I really do. I got a lot of concerns about this team moving forward. And can we actually, have a successful season as we know of UC basketball having? But we shall see. We'll see about that. But now moving on to my quick hot takes here. James Harden is now open to be traded to a contender or, to a contender or to the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, I'm saying this, if I am the Houston Rockets, don't rush to make no move. Whether he show up or not, don't rush to make no move. And here's why. You in control of this thing. And I'm all for player mobility. Don't get me wrong. I'm all for player mobility. I'm pro player. I'm pro player. But however, I gotta look at it from both sides. If I'm if I'm the Houston Rockets, and I see James Harden out there giving honey buns, cashing out little baby, partying, I'm finding him every day. I'm finding him every day. I'm sending him a fine in an email every day. James Edward Harden Jr., get your butt in the camp right now. Period. Period. This is an organization that did everything for James Harden. They've done everything for him. They've brought in every player they brought in. They've called James Harden. Would you like to bring Chris Paul in? They like, yeah. He like, yeah, I like that move. Didn't work. Bring in Dwight Howard. They consulted you. Dwight Howard's like, damn this. I ain't about to just be no rim runner. I'm out. Doesn't work. You bring in your boy Westbrook. I knew that wasn't gonna work. But hey, you brought in your boy Westbrook. You was cool with that. Doesn't work. We done did the rock. We done gave you every type of roster there is to have, and you still didn't. I understand you faced the Warriors, but you still ain't cracked through. You still ain't bust through. And with James Harden, and just looking at some of the quotes here, I'm not giving up Simmons for Harden. I'm not either. I'm not either. And that's a good question. Can James Harden play with anyone? That's a legit question that I really want to touch on because I don't think he can. Now, don't get me wrong. I was on our network, All Sports, All Plays, and I said this. I said this before it even came out as a report. I said that Brooklyn Nets need to make the move for him. But then you're talking about Kyrie, Harden, and KD, and it's like, I don't know. James Harden is starting to give me that vibe that he can't play with anyone. He needs a team by himself where he's a star, surround him with a rim running big, surround him with a whole bunch of shooters, and just let him go out there and gun. You know, him, Westbrook, they can't play with anybody. I think it's shown now. I think it's shown that you can't play with anyone, and I don't think he's so much of a cancer. Um, I don't think it's so much that he's a cancer. It's his style of play. It's his style of play. The ISO game is dead. Kobe has told James Harden that you know you can't win a championship at the top of the key dancing when the whole defense is looking at you. You can't. If somebody like you think about that. Kobe Bryant, one of the most lethal scorers this team has ever saw. Scorers this league has ever saw. Michael Jordan, one of the best scorers this league ever saw. Couldn't win like that. What the hell makes you think James Harden can win like that? That's my thing. And until he learns how to play in a system that's not ISO and which is not his game, then you're gonna get this. I think he needs to be on the team by himself. You know, because he does have that ego that he feels like he's the best. And I mean, he should. You know, you're a 30+ point scorer, but I don't think he can play with anybody else. You know, but I was on the record saying that a team that the Rockets should look at. If I'm talking about organization wise, if I'm looking to make a trade, I'm making it with Brooklyn. They got the young pieces that I need to start a rebuild. And you know they have the pieces. Forget draft picks. That's all good and dandy, but you're not guaranteed anything with the draft picks. But if you give me Dinwiddie, you can give me a Levert, you give me a Jared Allen, or I'll even take a DeAndre Jordan who's making 20 million. That's going to be off the books. You give me him and maybe a first rounder. That's a nice haul to have. You got ready now NBA players. 20-point scorers who could come in. Play. They're young, and then you perhaps get a big man, and then you get a pick or two. I'm trading with Brooklyn. I'm trading with Brooklyn. I'm not on the tangent of trying to send James Harden not where he want to be just to be spiteful. Get what you could get. You know what I mean? Because that's what gets GMs fired. That's what gets GMs fired. Nets shouldn't do it though. And if you're the Nets, why not? If you're the Nets, why not? If you're the Nets, I'm going for that. I'm going for that. I'm taking a chance. I'm taking a chance. That's a lethal three, man. And now, will it work? I don't know. But you talk about firepower, man. You talk about KD. Mid range assassin, just assassin. Period. That's your Walker bucket there. The only dynamic I would worry about is Kyrie and James Harden. I'm not worried about KD because KD gonna get his bucket. KD the best player. But the other two, that would be concerning. And Kyrie is a weird dude. Already talk about he ain't talking to the media. COVID made him look, made things different and all that. Whatever, dude. But we'll see how that go. We'll see. I'm not, the trade, all this trade and stuff is not over. And it's gonna be interesting to see. Moving on, LeBron. LeBron came out and said that he was a little hurt by Kyrie's um, comments. Kyrie's basically said, when he got Kevin Durant, he finally had a player that he could look at and be like, dang, I can make that shot too. And he said, and LeBron, took that a certain way and he said it hurt his feelings. And I'm not a big LeBron fan at all. Everybody and their mama know that. Everybody and their mama know that. However, I'm kind of feeling LeBron James on this. I mean, I was your teammate at one point. We went to battle together plenty of times. We went to war. And LeBron always thought the most of Kyrie Irving. You know what I mean? He's always thought the most of Kyrie Irving. And and Kyrie just needs to kind of, just stop, man. Just stop. Just stop. Like I said, I'm not a LeBron fan at all. But why make that comment? Why make that comment when you've seen LeBron make game-winning shots for you? You made some big shots, yes, but you've seen LeBron make shots too. You know, exactly. You was part of this thing that's down 3-1. Y'all both was dropping 40 together. So don't do that, man. Don't sit up here and try to, I understand you try to boost KD up, but you don't have to diminish what LeBron did and what in y'all time together. It's like he always coming and going, Kyrie. First, it's like, I'm so sorry. LeBron was just trying to lead. I understand where he's coming from. This, that, and the third. And then all of a sudden, he like, oh, now I got another person that can make that shot. Basically saying LeBron wasn't capable of making them. And it's like, Kyrie, you guys just stop, man. And he gets on my nerves. It's that simple. The dude gets on my nerves. I can't stand Kyrie Irving. He's a heck of a talent that gets in his own way. And he never, he never liked not being the man. That's true. I get that. But he has to earn the right to be the man. You see what I'm saying? He has to earn the right to be the man. You just can't, just come out and be the man because you want your own team. Because, before LeBron got there, he was leading all right, leading their ass straight to the lottery. Leading their asses right to first round picks. So he was leading. I don't know where he was leading to, but he was leading. You get to the Celtics, you ruin that young team. They make it further without you both times. You get there, they get smoked in the second round. Then you go to Brooklyn. You knew KD wasn't going to be there that first year. You complain about the roster. But somehow, some way, without Kyrie, they still made the playoffs. And played well in the bubble. Granted, they got swept by the Raptors. But they played well in the bubble. The Nets played really well. Really well in the bubble. LeVert was playing well. They didn't even have them. We had LeVert, Joe Harris, Garrett Temple, Jared Allen. They was just running out a bunch of, I ain't going to say bums, but they was running out a bunch of second-tier players and was competing. I'm just anxious to see how this dynamic is going to go with Steve Nash and Mike D'Antoni too. I know it's a great system for KD and Kyrie, but will Kyrie listen? Will Kyrie buy in? That's going to be the question I want to see. And I can easily see KD like, man, I made a mistake here. And slowly pushing Kyrie out of town. Because that's what type of player Kyrie is. He rubs players the wrong way. He tries to use LeBron. He tries to use LeBron leadership tactics without the equity. LeBron has built equity in this league. Kyrie has too, but not to the extent of LeBron. You can't lead like him. And that's what he's trying to do. So, we'll see. We'll see, with the Nets and everything like that. But I'm with LeBron on this. There was no need for that comment at all. Especially when we went to war together and won championships together. There's no excuse for that. Moving on, we got a couple more quick hot takes, and then we are done for the day. A huge upset in college basketball for a division, and I brought this up for a reason because of the college football playoff. Fort Hays State, a Division II team, beats Kansas State last night. Now, I brought this up for several reasons. One, that's why I love college basketball, because it can happen. It can happen. This is a Division II school now, beating a Division I Big 12 school, not just a Division I low-level conference school. We're talking about Big 12 school. Fort Hays State beat Kansas State. That's what makes college basketball great. That's why I watch that more than college football, because you see the underdogs fighting, clawing, and having a chance to win. That's the best thing to watch. It's fun to watch. And it also shows this. It also shows this. And I'm talking to, maybe some of my parents out there. I'm talking to some of the kids out there that, that may watch, that older, getting ready to be recruited. Don't sleep on D2 schools. Don't make the mentality of Division One or bust. Because I can tell you this, some of your lower level Division One schools can't sniff the jock strap of a top D2 school. A top D2 school will smoke some of these lower level D1s in football and in basketball. Football and basketball. And it's always fun to see this. It's always fun to see this. So I just wanted to throw that out there really, really quickly. 4A State upset Kansas State last night. That is great, and it's great for sports. And college football playoff committee, wake up and smell the damn coffee. Group of 5 teams can play. They can play football. Some of these, some of the talent that's on these group of 5 teams came from big schools. They can compete. They transferred. They can compete. They can compete. Allow these group of 5 teams to show you that they can compete. I don't want to hear nothing about they can't compete because we seen Oklahoma get smoked by 40 last year in the semifinal game, giving up 6 touchdowns in the half almost to Joe Burrow. So I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it. Do what's right. Do what's right for sports, athletics, in general. Like I said, the NCAA is a crooked organization. It's one of the most crooked organizations we have in the world. Last but not least, Jim Harbaugh will be discussing the future of him moving forward after the season. I think you will see a mutual agreement and they will both part ways with each other. Uh, I think Harbaugh knows that this is it. I think he's going to save himself some embarrassment by not playing in this, in the big game, quote unquote. And I'm tired of being called the big game. I'm sorry, Ohio State fans. I know y'all love this rivalry. It's no longer a rivalry anymore. This is not a big game anymore. A big game is not a big game where there's a 30-point spread. That's not a big game. I'm sorry. Let's cut that out. And this is a game where Ohio State dominates if they do play. And I think Harbaugh's just saving himself another game of embarrassment. They've been embarrassing all year. Um, the problem with Harbaugh is that he ain't adjusted to the college game. And by the time he tried to adjust, it's too late. It's too late. He's Oh, I gotta bring this up. It's the same as the Crosstown Shootout. No, it's not. This is not even close to the Crosstown Shootout, man. At least we won a couple years ago, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Y'all won this year and last year. We won the year before that by almost 20 points. We do sprinkle lately, about the last 15 years, we do sprinkle in some wins. These guys aren't winning. They're not winning. I can't tell you the last time that Michigan beat Ohio State. I can't tell you. I can tell you when the last time we beat Xavier. I was there at us Crosstown Shootout where we beat Xavier. It was the Troy Copain shot to ice the game. I was there. So we win at times, but all in all, this rivalry right here, well, rivalry right here is just awful. And like I said, back to Jim Harbaugh, we kind of went off on a tangent there. Jim Harbaugh needs to go. They need to part ways. I don't know who Michigan brings in. Fickle's not coming, so don't even call him. He's an Ohio State guy. He's an Ohio guy, so he will never, ever, ever go, go to Michigan. I don't know who you guys bring in there, but Harbaugh, old style of play, dude. Just as the last year, they were lining up in power eye, and what I mean by power, not just normal formation with your fullback and your running back. You talk about two fullbacks and a running back. That's some old 1950 stuff. Like, come on, you can't win with that, man. You might as well run stack right, stack left. I mean, I don't know. He's an NFL coach. And even in the NFL, you're gonna have to adapt some type of, spread system. You're gonna have to adapt, modern play. Because his 90s style coaching is old. And like I said, I'm tired of seeing him on the sidelines with the khakis on, with the Malcolm X glasses, and he up there squinting at the score. He's squinting up at the scoreboard. Look like he don't know what he. Get him out of there. Get him out of there. And I'm not a Michigan fan, but get him out of there. I had high hopes for Jim Harbaugh. I had high hopes in bringing this rivalry back, but this is not watchable. If you're not an Ohio State fan, if you're not a Michigan fan, this game is not watchable. You know the outcome. It's going to be a 30-point blasting. 30-point blasting. So, with Jim Harbaugh, I was disappointed in his tenure. I think he needs to go. And they need to part ways. I don't know. How attractive is the Michigan job at this point? The last 3 coaches, failed miserably. More than that, but you haven't had a great coach in there since Lloyd Carr. So at what point, because it's just Michigan, they don't make it a good job? So I don't know. I think Jim Harbaugh will be out the door, and they'll be looking for a coach here and be on the coaching search relatively soon. All right, that was it. Another episode of Timeout with Coach Cam in the books. Hey, I'm excited. I'm definitely excited. Hold on, I got a quick comment before I go. It's not attractive because they have to beat O State. I agree with that. They have to be. Whoever bring them in, you got to beat them. And the thing is, I don't think they're asking right now to beat them every year. You just got to beat them sometimes. And they can't even beat them sometimes. That's the bad part. They can't even beat them sometimes, man, Sam. So, and that's just the bad part of, the whole Ohio State thing. But you know what? I try to go keep it within an hour. That's what I'm gonna try to do every show. It's been real, y'all. Hey, I appreciate y'all for watching. Hey, remember, please spread the word for me. I'm gonna be on stream. Using StreamYard. I'm gonna be on YouTube Live, and I'm gonna be on Facebook Live. Next, I will be on Sunday morning at 9:30. Remember, Sunday morning at 9:30. Also, be aware for some interviews coming up that I'm trying to line up. We'll have some, Bengals beat writers, people that do Bengals podcasts and everything like that. So, I'm excited. I'm excited what's on the horizon. It's something new, but continue to spread the word. Also, if you've seen across the bottom line on the ticker, I have the Coach Cam wristbands. 3 for $10. Or $5 a piece. I got them in red. I got them in black here. I can, I got them for you. So, it's been real. I'm excited about, the new journey of Timeout with Coach Cam. Hey, until next time, we out.
Timeout, overtime, hot take, debate, penalty by so many yaps. We on the way. Unapologetic opinions, guests checking in, so I share on my social. Merch going up, my brother, he going global. Ads hold it down for the ladies, they need their own show. We'll be right back with it. Time out with Coach Cam, we shouldn't miss a minute.